We are here for our last Monday night online worship together. That's right. Next Sunday, we are starting back our live kids worship here at Stuttgart Harvest Church, and we are so excited to see y'all again. But tonight we have one last story for you, and it's kind of interesting. We've been working our way through the Bible all year, and tonight we're going to talk about the last book of the Bible. Rachel and Ella want to say hi to everybody. Okay. There you go. Out of here. And so we're going to talk about the very last book of the Bible, Revelation. And Revelation was written by the disciple John. Real quick, let's go over our life app for the month of July. Actually, it was June and July. It's faith, trusting in what you can't see because of what you can see. And our verse, real quickly, is from Ephesians chapter 2, verse 8. For it is by grace you have been saved through faith, and this is not from yourselves, it is the gift of God. And so, everybody hang tight with me, and let's watch this story straight from the book of Revelation.
The Bible. It's 66 books of history, stories, letters, and poetry that fit together to form God's one big story. The epic adventure of how He created us and loves us so much that He made a way to rescue us. As we travel through the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, we discover people who met God and found their lives changed forever. Now, for an amazing story, inspired by the book of Revelation, chapter 21, verses 3 to 5.
John squinted against the blinding glare of the afternoon sun. Just a short distance away, frothy waves crashed against craggy rocks and foamed over white sands. This island of Patmos was isolated and rocky, but the view was stunning, surrounded by brilliant blue sea and sky.
Most beautiful prison on earth.
Though he wasn't chained up, John was in jail. The Roman emperor, who was unable to make John stop preaching about Jesus, had exiled him to this prison colony where many prisoners worked in the mines. There was no way off the island, so John was now very old, living out his final years on the island of Patmos with a handful of criminals.
I can share the story of Jesus with them too.
John settled into a shallow cave on shore to take shelter from the heat. He closed his eyes.
I've seen so much.
John had lived longer than any of the other of Jesus' disciples. He had watched the early church grow while the story of Jesus spread fast and bright as wildfire. But he had also seen terrible things happen to those who believed in Jesus. In fact, many people died just for talking about Jesus.
We saw everything Jesus did. We can believe He'll be with us forever, even through death.
Despite the threats and persecution, more people than ever were following Jesus. God's story was traveling from one end of the world to the other, just like Jesus said it would.
I wonder why I've been allowed to live this long.
In the cool of the shallow cave, John began to relax. His head was nodding, until a voice like a trumpet sounded behind him.
Write on a scroll what you see.
John blinked. Was he awake or dreaming?
Wait, what? I don't see. Oh.
Turning, John saw Jesus himself, his eyes blazing with intensity.
Do not be afraid. I was dead, but look, I am alive forever and ever. Write about what is happening now and what will happen later.
John's mind worked quickly, trying to grasp what was happening. It appeared that God was trying to show him a picture of things that would happen in the future, and he wanted John to write them down and show them to others so that they could believe too.
Yes, Lord. Do you mind if I grab a scroll? Oh, and a quill. I don't want to forget anything.
John watched, amazed, as God showed him many things that were coming. Some were wonderful. Some were terrible. Some were mysterious. After the vision ended, John began a letter to several of the new churches.
I, John, am writing this. I am a friend who suffers like you. As members of Jesus' royal family, we can put up with anything that happens to us.
John explained every strange and amazing thing he had seen. Some of it made him tremble. Others wouldn't make sense until the right time had come. But the last part of his vision...
That's the very best part. I can't wait to write all about it.
God had shown John how the whole story will turn out for everyone who believes in Jesus. Carefully, he recalled all the incredible things he'd seen.
How am I going to do this? I mean, there's no way that words can capture it. But I have to try. It's just a picture. Until they get to see for themselves how real and breathtaking it will be. I saw a new heaven and a new earth.
John remembered the words that Jesus had spoken while he was on earth, right before his death and return to life.
There are many rooms in my Father's house. I am going there to prepare a place for you. If I go and do that, I will come back, and I will take you to be with me. Then you will also be where I am.
That's what I saw. It's the special place Jesus is making for each one of us. A place where we will never be apart from God.
John recalled the next scene from his vision. He saw a great white throne.
I heard a loud voice from the throne. It said, "Now God makes his home with people. He will wipe away every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death or sadness. There will be no more crying or pain."
John paused as he stared in wonder at what he had just written down.
All of these terrible things we've seen. People sick and hurt, being mocked and put in jail. All of it will be made right.
Something else stood out to John.
Light. There was so much light. The city does not need the sun or moon to shine on it. God's glory is its light, and the Lamb, Jesus, is its lamp. Its gates will never be shut because there will be no night there.
The place John had seen wasn't just filled with light. It was beautiful too.
Then the angel showed me the river of the water of life. It was as clear as crystal. It flowed from the throne of God and of the Lamb. It flowed down the middle of the city's main street. On each side of the river stood the tree of life. Its fruit was ripe every month. The leaves of the tree bring healing to the nations.
Once again, John lifted his pen from the page. It just seemed impossible to share the real glory of what he had seen with tiny black marks on a scroll. He tried again.
God's servants will serve him. They will see his face.
John felt himself grinning. He could say one thing for sure: no one would be bored. He and every other person who believes in God would finally be able to live out what they were created to do, fully and completely, with no sin or frustration or weariness to get in the way.
May the grace of the Lord Jesus be with God's people. Amen.
Now, John didn't know exactly when the things God had shown him would take place, and neither do we. But from what we've seen and heard, we know one thing for certain. In the end, God will make everything right for those who trust in him.
Okay, so our bottom line for today: following Jesus will turn out greater than you can imagine. John didn't know exactly how things were going to go when God showed him what was going to take place, and neither do we. It's like a puzzle with not all the pieces. Have you ever lost a piece to the puzzle, or as you're putting together a puzzle, you kind of have an idea of what it's going to look like, but you really don't know. But the story isn't finished. We can see a hint of what's to come, and because of what we've seen and heard, we can be certain in the end God will make all things right for those who trust him. We'll talk about faith one more time: trusting in what you can't see because of what you can see. And we can see what John wrote for us in the book of Revelation. That wraps up our 252 time for this week. Parents, I want you to keep watching through the first look session because afterward we have a very special preview of our August series for our adult worship that we're very, very excited about. So hang with me for just a little while. First look, kids, get ready. You're coming up in just a few seconds. First look, kiddos, are y'all ready for our very last week of online worship together? We have a very special story for you today. We're going to talk about heaven. Who's heard of heaven? And so today we're going to talk about heaven. And the Bible talks about heaven in the book of Revelation. And Revelation was written by a man named John. But first, can't. First, let's review our memory verse real quick for this month. And our memory verse is from John 20:31. These are written so that you may believe that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of God. And our bottom line, I can believe in Jesus. Can you all say that with me? I can believe in Jesus. That's right. I can believe in Jesus. So let's head on over and see what Ollie and our friends in the clubhouse have to tell us about heaven and the book of Revelation.
Just follow me through. Hoo, hoo.
Follow me through. Follow me through. Who? Ollie's got a Bible story for me and you.
Well, hello everyone. I'm Aisha and welcome to my cupcake food truck. Check out today's special. Ta-da! I call them Taste Like Heaven because each bite is the best thing ever. Which is exactly the true story I want to tell you today. Get your I Spy eyes ready so you can help me tell the story. Awesome! If you're ready for a story, on the count of 3, yell, "Tell me a story." 1, 2, 3. Tell me a story. Raise your hand if you have ever heard about a place called heaven. Great! That is what our story is about today. A very special place called heaven. One day, Jesus was with his friends, the disciples. He told them he would be going away soon. He said he was going to a special place called heaven to get everything ready for all of the people who believed in him. He said this place was very big and it had a lot of rooms. Later, after Jesus died and came back, he visited many of his friends. Jesus wanted his friends to see that he was alive with their very own eyes. Jesus talked with them and ate food with them so they would see he is alive and believe in him. Do you see Jesus alive? Help me look for him. I spy with my little eye. Jesus is alive! While Jesus was talking and eating with his friends, he told them to go and tell everyone that he is alive and he wants to be their friend forever. Then something amazing happened. After Jesus finished talking to his friends, he went straight up into the sky, through the clouds, and into heaven. All of his friends saw him do it with their very own eyes. Can you see a sky with clouds? Look with me. I spy with my little eye a sky with clouds. While Jesus' friends were standing there looking at the sky, 2 angels came and asked them, "Why are you looking at the sky? Jesus has gone to heaven, but he'll be back." Wow, we know heaven is real because Jesus told us it is real. And we can believe Jesus because he always tells the truth. And everyone who believes in Jesus will get to be his friend forever and live with him in heaven one day. Can you see why this is one of my favorite true stories from the Bible? And Jesus is getting a place in heaven ready for everyone who believes in him. Did you like the story? If you did, give it 2 thumbs up. 2 thumbs up! Hey there, Ollie. Tell me, who can believe in Jesus?
I can believe in Jesus. Yes, it's true. Now let's hear it from you. Tell me, who can believe in Jesus?
I can believe in Jesus. That's the truth, friends. You better believe it. Bye!
Wow, that is so awesome. We know heaven is real because Jesus said it was. And Jesus always tells us the truth. So our bottom line is I can believe in Jesus. That wraps up this week, friends, and we will see you live next week at Stuttgart Harvest Church. Our kids programming is 10:30. We can't wait to see you all. So right now we are real excited about our adult worship series that we're doing in August. So we're going to show you a preview of that right now, and we will see you next week.